It's 11:42 p.m. The lights are off. The room is quiet, but your mind isn't. You're staring at the ceiling, replaying a conversation from 3 days ago. You wonder if you said too much, or not enough. A missed email, a mistake at work, that one thing you didn't finish. The week is over, but somehow it's not. It's still alive in your head. You turn over. Again. Still not sleeping, not resting, just thinking, overthinking. Why do our worst thoughts visit us right before sleep? This moment, lying awake, exhausted but restless, is more common than you think. In fact, studies show that nearly 72% of adults lose sleep because they mentally replay moments they regret, things they forgot, or problems they can't solve. We bring the week to bed with us, like emotional luggage we never unpacked. Somewhere along the way, we started believing that rest must be earned, that peace is a reward for productivity, that if we didn't do enough, say enough, finish enough, we don't deserve sleep. But what if this belief is backwards? What if peace doesn't come from doing more, but from letting go? The Stoics, men who lived through wars, exile, betrayal, and personal failure, believed that inner peace was not the result of external control, but of internal clarity. That before sleep, the most powerful thing a person could do was release. Release what wasn't theirs to hold, what they could not change, what they no longer needed. That's not passivity, that's power. And maybe, just maybe, the reason you're not sleeping isn't because of what you didn't do, but because of what you're still holding on to. But how exactly do you let go when your mind keeps circling back? This is where the Stoics offer not just comfort, but clarity. Epictetus, a slave-turned-philosopher, opened his teachings with a single, unshakable truth. Some things are up to us, and some are not. This wasn't a motivational quote. It was a survival principle. To recognize, before bed and before life, that most of our pain comes not from reality, but from resisting it. You can't control what they said, what happened last Wednesday, how your boss reacted, whether someone misunderstood your words. You can't control how quickly the world moves or how much more you should have done. But you can control this moment, this breath, this choice to hold on or to let go. Seneca, in one of his most personal letters, reflected, "He who has peace of mind disturbs neither himself nor another." His practice: each night before sleep, he reviewed his day, not to shame himself, but to reflect without judgment, to make peace with others, with himself, with the chaos. And then there's Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, yet humble in his reflections. In the dark of night, he would write, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." For Marcus, evening was a sacred reset, a time not for noise or worry, but for stillness, for reclaiming the only kingdom that truly mattered, the mind. These men didn't have apps, noise machines, or guided meditations. They had philosophy, and they used it not to impress others, but to master themselves. And so the question becomes, what if we could end our week the same way? Not by finishing everything, but by finishing well. Not by avoiding discomfort, but by facing it with calm. Not by escaping thoughts, but by confronting them then, releasing what's not ours to carry. Because that is what the Stoics did. And if you're watching this now, unable to sleep, restless from the weight of your week, maybe you're ready to do it too. Let's begin. Take a breath. Slow it down. Tonight, we don't rush, we reset. This is the Stoic bedtime ritual, a 3-step reflection to help you release the week, realign your mind, and finally sleep, not just with eyes closed, but with the soul quiet. We begin with step 1, drop the stone. Picture yourself walking with a heavy stone in your hand. It's not part of your body, but you've been gripping it so tightly that your fingers ache. That stone is the argument you had, the thing you forgot to do, the opportunity you missed. It's heavy, and it's not yours to carry more. Epictetus would say, if something is outside your control, it is nothing to you. So write it down right now, if you can. Name the regret, the moment, the tension, and then cross it out. Not because it doesn't matter, but because it's over, and it's no longer within your reach. Ask yourself quietly, am I carrying something I was never meant to hold? Then breathe. Feel your hand let go, metaphorically, emotionally, maybe even physically unclenching. Now, we move to step 2. Clean the mirror. This part is not about blame, it's about clarity. Seneca believed that each night should be a quiet examination. What did I do today that didn't align with who I want to be? Not to punish, but to notice. Like polishing a mirror to see yourself more clearly. Maybe you snapped at someone. Maybe you hesitated when courage was called for. Maybe you stayed silent when your values asked you to speak. Write it down, or just speak it aloud in the dark. Then ask, what did I learn from this week's hardest moment? In Stoicism, mistakes aren't stains, they're stepping stones. The goal is not to be flawless. The goal is to be more aware, day by day. And finally, step 3, light the flame. After letting go and reflecting, we return to the center, to the stillness inside. This is where we remind ourselves, I've done my part. Now I choose peace. Turn off the screens, dim the lights, sit in stillness, even for just 2 minutes. And if you like, repeat this mantra softly in your mind. I release what I cannot change. I carry forward only the lesson. I rest in what remains. Read one sentence from Marcus Aurelius, or just let silence speak. Maybe there's soft rain outside, or maybe it's the sound of your breath. Both are reminders that stillness doesn't require perfection, just presence. This ritual doesn't take long, but its effect carries into tomorrow, into Monday, into how you begin again, and perhaps most importantly, into how you sleep tonight. Let me tell you a story. Maya is 41. She works in corporate strategy, lives alone in a quiet apartment just outside Chicago. Every Sunday night, the same cycle repeats. Dinner at 7, dishes at 8, then the spiral begins. She opens her laptop just to check one thing, and 3 hours vanish. Emails, deadlines, unfinished slides, Slack messages she already answered but feels compelled to reread. She tells herself it's being responsible. But by the time she climbs into bed, it's past 1:30 a.m. and her heart is still racing. She tries to sleep, but can't. And in the silence of the room, the self-criticism sets in. You should have been more prepared. You didn't get enough done. Tomorrow's going to be hell. This went on for years. Until one night, she stumbled across a quote from Marcus Aurelius on her phone, one she'd never seen before. It read, "The tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say, or think, or do, only what you do." Something shifted. It wasn't dramatic, just a pause, a stillness. That night, instead of opening her inbox, she opened her notebook. She wrote down 3 sentences, what she couldn't control, what she could improve, and what she was choosing to let go. Then she turned off the light earlier than she had in weeks. It wasn't perfect. The next Sunday, she relapsed stress, pulled her back into the screen. But little by little, the ritual returned. A short journal, a quote, a cup of chamomile tea, silence. 3 weeks later, she realized something. Mondays weren't as heavy. Her mind wasn't spinning. She wasn't snapping at her co-workers. Her body didn't feel as drained by 10 a.m. She hadn't changed her job, or her workload, or her deadlines. She had only changed one thing: how she ended her week. That's the quiet revolution Stoicism offers, not to escape the world, but to face it from a place of stillness. And like Maya, you can begin right now with just one night. So here we are, the end of the day, the end of the week, but also the beginning of a choice. You don't need to solve everything tonight. You don't need to explain yourself to anyone or earn your right to rest. You've already done your part. And now, the stoic thing you can do is let go. Let go of what didn't go your way. Let go of what others said. Let go of the version of the week you wish had happened and honor the one that did. Because you are here, still standing, still breathing. And that is not nothing. The Stoics remind us, peace isn't something you find, it's something you practice. And the practice begins with a pause, a reflection, a release. So tonight, I invite you to try this. Before you go to sleep, release one regret, write down one lesson, and speak one mantra that centers your mind. Then close your eyes, not with tension, but with permission. You've done enough. You are enough. And now you rest. If this helped you in any way, I hope you'll share it with someone who needs it. Someone whose mind is tired. Someone who keeps holding what they no longer need to carry. And before you go, tell me in the comments, what are you releasing tonight? May your night be still, may your mind be free, and may your week begin with quiet strength. Until next time, stay grounded.